Shalom, Israel. I want to start by saying all praise to the Most High Yah and Son Yahweh Shai Mashiach. All right, Israel. I want to come on here and jump on here real quick, make a little short lesson called wisdom. It's like a follow up from my lesson from the Sabbath lesson. All right. So I hope all y'all having a wonderful beginning of y'all week, a blessed week. Hope the Father is blessing your house. So today my lesson is called wisdom. So we're gonna go to Psalms 111, verse 10. I want to talk about wisdom. So Psalms 111, verse 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding of all that they do his commandments. His praise endure forever. All right. So when the fear of the Lord, when you start fearing the Father, it's the beginning of wisdom. And a good understanding of all that do his commandments. So how do you start fearing the Lord? By doing his commandments. I'm going to show you a precept. Now we're going to go to Ecclesiasticus chapter 1 or Book of Sirach, whatever you want to call it. So the Book of Sirach chapter 1 verse 26. If thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Lord should give her unto thee. So if you desire wisdom, keep the commandments. So if you already keeping the commandments, guess what? You already have wisdom, because the fear of the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. So as soon as you start keeping these commandments, that's when you got wisdom. All right, read verse 26 again. If thou desire wisdom, keep the commandments, and the Lord should give her unto thee. For the fear of the Lord is wisdom. So for the fear of the Lord is wisdom, like I just said. So as soon as you start keeping these commandments, you got wisdom. All right. So that's why everyone on this camera knew or been in this truth. And, oh, I want some wisdom. You already have that wisdom. When you soon you started keeping these commandments, Most High gave you wisdom. That's wisdom. If the fear of the Lord is wisdom, for the fear of the Lord is wisdom and instruction, and faith and meekness are His delight. All right. So I'm gonna go up to verse 14. Watch this. Sirach chapter 1, verse 14. To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, just like the other scripture said. And it was created with the faithful in the womb. So it was created with the faithful in the womb. That means what? While you was in a womb, you already had wisdom inside of you. So you keeping these commandments because Most High created you the way to keep his commandments. Read it verse 14 again. To fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, and it was created with the faithful in the womb. So you always had the desire to keep his commandments. So when he woke you up, it's like boom, that light turned on. Because when he created you with his light, which is his law. All praises. So that's for everyone who's in this truth now. You was created to keep these commandments. And you was created to be wise, to have wisdom. All praise to the Father. Now let's go to Proverbs. So Proverbs chapter 1, verse 7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. So the fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge. But fools despise wisdom and instruction. So either you're going to be wise, which is what? You're keeping the commandments. Or you a fool. That means you do not keep the commandments. Because you despise wisdom and instruction. Who wants to despise wisdom? Fools. So if you keeping his commandments, then that means what? You're not a fool, Israel. All praises to the Father for that. All right. So we can continue. So I want to bring that out and let people know. Oh, I want wisdom. You already have wisdom, Israel. I'm speaking to the kings, queens, prince, and princesses. Don't overthink wisdom. Wisdom is the fear of the Lord. So if you keeping the commandments to the best of your ability, you already wise because you're keeping his commandments. All right. So now I'm gonna go to Isaiah. Isaiah 34, verse 16. So Isaiah chapter 34, verse 16. Seek ye out the book of the Lord. So you got to seek out the book of the Lord and read. Read that again. Seek ye out the book of the Lord and read. That's how you get more wisdom. When you seek out of this book, seek you out of the book of the Lord, that's the Bible, Israel, and read when you read it. No one of these things shall fail. None shall want her mate, for my mouth have commanded, and his spirit have gathered them. So Most High said, you're not going to fail with wisdom when you seek him out of the book. All right? Seek wisdom out of the book. So I'm going to go to another precept. We're going to go to Acts 17, verse 11. So Acts chapter 17, verse 11. These were more noble than those in Thessalonica, and that they received the word with all readiness of mind. So when you come in this truth, you got to see the word with readiness of mind. You have to open mind, Israel. All right? You have to be humble. You have to realize everything you've been taught was a lie. So you have to humble yourself and have an open mind. And search the scriptures daily. Search these scriptures daily, whether those things were so. So when we telling you this on this camera, don't trust everyone. You have to go, you watch a lesson, that's cool, but search the scriptures yourself to make sure whoever teaching you on this camera on the streets is following what the Bible will say. All right? So now we're gonna go back to Isaiah. So search the scriptures daily. That's how you get more wisdom. Now we're going to go to Isaiah. So Isaiah chapter 28, verse 10. For precept must be upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line, here a little and there a little. So I'm bringing this out for the newcomers. And they wonder why he going to Genesis, then he going to Acts, and then he goes to Ecclesiastes. That's how you understand the Bible. All right. So when you come to this truth, the thing I'm going to tell you what I did. Everybody got their own way how they get their wisdom. I read the Bible from Genesis all the way to Revelations. I didn't know nothing. I'm gonna be real with you, Israel. I didn't know nothing. I didn't know nothing about no Genesis. I just kept reading and reading. But further in my reading, I started getting more wisdom because I was keeping more commandments and learning about commandments. So when I finished Revelation, after reading the Old Testament, Apocrypha, and Revelation, I went back and started reading the Bible all the way from the beginning again. That's how I ended up getting my precepts. So when I got back to Genesis, I started saying, hold on, this Genesis sounds like something in Ezekiel. And then I would check it, and it would be that same story of Ezekiel, or it'd be the same story of Daniel. That's how I started learning the precepts. So it says, for precept must upon precept, precept upon precept, line upon line, line upon line. So you might hear something in Genesis, it will take you to Leviticus. So you'll get a part of it in Genesis, and it'll finish it in Leviticus. Here a little, so you hear a little in Genesis, there a little, and then you finish it in Leviticus. That's how you get more wisdom of the Bible. That's how you understand the Bible. I mean, it's not like a regular book you can read front and back. But I encourage people to read front and back and then go back and read again. And that's how I start getting my own precepts. When I remember something I read further in other books, like, oh, this sounds like it. Then I look, and that's how I found precepts. All right. So we can continue. So we can go to Psalms. Psalms 119, 104. Whoever watches my armor ups, this is my main scripture I always start with. So Psalms 119, verse 104. Through thy precepts I get understanding. See that? So through thy precepts you get understanding. You get more understanding of the Bible. You get more wisdom of the Bible. Therefore I hate every false way. That's why I went to that scripture in Acts. You could see that whatever someone's saying is true by searching the scriptures daily and finding the precepts. All right. So now I'm gonna go to Sirach. Go back to Sirach. Sirach is Ecclesiastes. For the newcomers, Ecclesiastes is Apocrypha. These are the hidden books that they took out because it got more in detail and they didn't want us to know about. All right. So I'm going to Ecclesiastes 38. So Ecclesiastes 38 or the book of Sirach. You're gonna get verse 24. So Sirach chapter 38, verse 24. The wisdom of a learned man coming by opportunity of leisure. So I'm gonna read that slow. The wisdom of a learned man or woman, coming by opportunity of leisure. So leisure means free time. That means you're reading when it's your free time. Instead of watching a movie, you decide to read. Most High said, when you do that, I'm gonna give you more wisdom in my words. All right. At the end of this video, I'm gonna have the definition of leisure to prove it. It means free time. So the wisdom of a learned man coming by opportunity of leisure, and he that have little business should become wise. So if you mostly focus in the Bible, Most High said you're gonna come wise. How can he get wisdom that holdeth the plow? How can you get wisdom if you barely reading his Bible on the Sabbath? And glory in the gold that driving the oxen and is occupying their labors, whose talk is of bullets. So if your talk is always about this worldly stuff and always about work and all that, well, that's I can't give you wisdom. I'm gonna show you a precept to that. Now I'm gonna go to Sirach 39. We're gonna get verse 1 and 3. 1 through 3. So Sirach chapter 39, verse 1. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the most high is occupied in meditation thereof, will seek out the wisdom of all the ancient, and be occupied in prophecy. So most high said, when you give me your mind, I always want to be in my book, I'm gonna allow you to seek out secrets that other people don't know. I'm gonna read it again. But he that giveth his mind to the law of the most high is occupied in the meditation thereof, would seek out the wisdom of all the ancient and be occupied in prophecies. So you always going to be occupied in prophecies in all these scriptures. Verse 2. He would keep the sayings of the renowned men. That's Joshua, Jeremiah, the famous ones. And where subtle parables are, he will be there also. So when it's parables, Yahweh was saying, or parables in the Old Testament, you will be there. You will understand hidden words of the Bible. He would seek out secrets of grave sentences. So you grave sentences. And be conversant, that means familiar, in dark parables. So once I said I'm gonna give you all these secrets to the Bible if you take your time out and read me diligently. You know what I mean? So people who want wisdom and want to get deep in the book and know all these precepts, that's how you do it. First, keep the commandments. That's the beginning of wisdom. So when you start keeping the commandments, you already got wisdom. To increase in it is to read. All right. So we can continue. Now we're gonna go to Sirach 19. Okay. Sirach chapter 19, verse 24. He that has small understanding and feared Yah. So you got small understanding, you ain't got that much wisdom. It's better than one that have much wisdom and transgress the law of the Most High. So I want to bring this scripture out. The main thing is about wisdom is to fear the Most High. Okay? It's cool you want to get deep in the Bible and know all the precepts and the dark sentences. There's nothing wrong with that. But the main thing of wisdom is to fear the Most High. So when you keeping His commandments, that's that wisdom that you have. That wisdom is better than anything because you're keeping the commandments. All right. Hold on. I skipped the scripture. Sorry. I'm going to go back. Let's go back. I'm going to go to Wisdom of Solomon. I'm going to show you something. Uh, Wisdom of Solomon. Yeah, I know I skipped. Sorry. It's like Israel. I'm getting straight off work. It was on my mind at work. And I want to make this. You know what I mean? I was going to just come on here and do a follow up. But Most High put in my spirit, like, make it a lesson. Make it a short lesson. So I'm just getting off work making this lesson for y'all. I'm gonna go back though. I missed the scripture. So I'm gonna go to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 7, verse 14. For she's a treasure unto men that never faileth, which they that use become the friends of Yah. So I want to bring that out. So like Israel. So when you have wisdom, which is wisdom is what? Keeping his commandments, you become the friend of the most high. All right. And being commanded for the gifts that come from learning. And you get the gifts from come from learning. That's what we was just bringing out in Sirach 39. The dark sinisters, the parables and all that. Those are gifts the Father gives to you when you keep his commandments. And when you keep his commandments, you become a friend of the Most High. All right. So let's go back. Sorry, let's like Israel, I messed that up. I skipped that scripture, my bad. I want to get that out. So I want to let y'all know that who's keeping his commandments, you have wisdom. And having wisdom, you become the friend of the Most High. I mean, that's a treasure to be a friend of the creator of the earth. All right. So let's go back, get back on track. So we're going to go to 1 Corinthians, verse 9 and 10. So I'm going to bring this part out. So 1 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 9. For we know in part. So we know in part, and we prophesy in part. So that's about wisdom. Getting in the scriptures, knowing all the parables and all that stuff, that's cool. But we all don't have all the answers. For we know in part, and we prophesy in part. But when that which is perfect is come, when Yahweh shall come, then which is in part should be done away. Then we all will know in whole. I want to show y'all something. When I always say that Yahweh Shai would deal with whoever he wants to, I'm going to show you examples. We know the story about Peter. I want to show you something. When I tell you Yahweh Shai only deals with whoever he wants to deal with, and we all got different levels how Yahweh Shai would deal with you. That's why I brought that lesson out. We shouldn't envy each other. Just because Yahweh Shai put you at a higher level than someone, of more wisdom or secrets he give you, that don't make you better. And that don't make you less or better than that person. It's just how Yahweh Shai work. Each person, Yahweh Shai deal with you the way he wants to deal with you. He gives you the level of wisdom the way he wants to do it. It has nothing to do with us. I'm going to go to Matthew chapter 14, verse 26. Pay attention. I'm about to bring out this story. We know this story. For the newcomers, listen to this story. Matthew chapter 14, verse 26. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, this is Yahushua, they were troubled, saying, It is a spirit. And they cried out for fear. But straightway Yahushua spake unto them, saying, Be of good cheer. It is I. Be not afraid. And Peter answered and said, Lord, if it be thou, bid me come unto thee on the water. So Peter like, if it's you, let me come on the water. And Yahushua said, Come. When Peter was coming down out of the ship, he walked on the water. So this is Peter. He's walking on the water, y'all, to go to Yahushua. But when he saw the wind bustering, big old hurricane, he was afraid, beginning to sink. He cried, saying, Lord, save me. He's like, Yahushua, save me, Lord, save me. And immediately Yahushua stretched forth his hand and caught him and said unto him, O thou little faith. So Yahushua got mad at him because he's supposed to be Psalms 82:6. For y'all newcomers, we are gods. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have powers. And Peter had power, and that's how he walked on the water. So when the hurricane came, he fell down. Yahushua got mad at him, like, why you forget that you were a god? So I'm read that again. And immediately Yahushua stretched forth his hand and caught him, said unto him, O thou little faith, wherefore did thou doubt? And when they were coming to the ship, the wind ceased. So they got back in the ship. So he picked them up. Now I'm going to go to Mark. The same scene. Watch what Mark got. Remember, we prophesy in part. Watch what it means by that. Let me show you. This is his disciples. Look how he did his disciples. So we're going to go to the same scenes. Mark chapter 6, verse 49 through 51. But when they saw him walking upon the sea, the same scene, they supposed it had been a spirit and cried out, just like Matthew said. For they all saw him and were troubled. So just like Matthew said, everybody seeing how shall walk on the water, like, whoa, this is crazy. Immediately he talked with them and said unto them, Be of good cheer, it is I, be not afraid. And he went up into the ship, and the wind ceased, and they are so amazed in themselves beyond measure and wonder. Where's Peter seen that? There's no scene. Mark didn't get that. Only Matthew got it so far. So I'm showing you through his disciples, even his disciples didn't get all the wisdom that he wanted. Each person gets the wisdom that Yahweh wants you to get. Now let's go to John. Go to John 6, verse 19. To John chapter 6, verse 19. So when they had rowed about 5 and 20, 30 furlongs, they saw Yahushua walking on the sea. The same scene Israel followed me, drawing nigh into the ship, and they were afraid. But he said unto them, It is I, be not afraid, just like Matthew, just like Mark. Then they willingly received him to the ship, and immediately the ship was at the land, whither they went. Where is Peter seen at? They don't have that scene. He only gave that scene to Matthew. Matthew is the only one got to see that scene because Yahweh deals with whoever he wants to accordingly to the level that he wants you to see things. So I'm bringing this out. Just because someone else gets something in the book that you don't get, don't envy that. You know what I mean? He did that even with his disciples. That's why we prophesy in part and we know in part. We're supposed to come and put the pieces together, not envy each other. You give me what you got, I give you what I got. We put it together. That's what I'm bringing that part out for you. So I'm going to go to the end of my lesson. This is the end. And go to Revelation. Let's get back to wisdom. So this is the main thing of wisdom. This is that wisdom you want, right? This is the important wisdom. Knowing the scriptures and all that, that's cool. But this is the main wisdom. Revelation 14, verse 12. Here's the patience of the saints. Here are they that keep the commandments of Yah. That's that wisdom you want. That's the only wisdom that matters. You keeping most high commandments, Israel. In the faith of Yahushua. In the faith of Yahushua. That's that wisdom you want. You want the wisdom to know, okay, I need to keep his commandments. That's all it's about. Let me show you. What wisdom do for you? The treasure, it says it gives you gifts. This is the gift he's going to give you when you keep the commandments, which is wisdom. Revelation chapter 22, verse 14. Blessed are they that do his commandments, that they may have right to the tree of life. See, that's that gift you get, the tree of life, New Jerusalem, the kingdom, and may enter through the gates into the city. That's all we're doing this for. There's nothing wrong with knowing the scriptures and knowing the deep parables. That's cool. But I just want to bring out for people who be feeling like, well, I don't know the scriptures like that. There's nothing wrong with that. If you want it, like I said, go through the scriptures. Meditate day and night. You know what I mean? Try to meditate in these scriptures as much as you can. I mean, try to get 2 chapters a day, 1 chapter a day. Show the Father how serious you are to get wisdom, and He will give you wisdom. But first, you have to be keeping the commandments. But I just want to bring this out. The main wisdom you should only care about is keeping His commandments. All right, that's that wisdom that gets you the kingdom. When you have that wisdom, you get the New Jerusalem, and that's all that matters. All right. And another thing, my new lesson coming out is about the high holy days. You know what I mean? For the newcomers, January 1st is not our New Year's Eve. Okay, that's not us. We don't do that for Israel. Ours is coming up in March and April. That's our new year. And I'm going to make a lesson about our high holy days for this year. You know what I mean? That's another very important commandment to keep. To do his high holy days with joy and gladness. All right. So most high willing, it'll be probably coming out next Sabbath because I'm taking my time on it. I want to make sure I don't mess it up for the Father. I want to make sure I bring out the scriptures the best I can for his high holy days. All right. So with that being said, I hope this was edifying. Hope y'all enjoy the rest of y'all week. Remember, y'all already have wisdom. Anyone that's on this camera that's keeping the commandments, you got wisdom. All right. With that being said, shalom.